someone tried to get me, and they emailed me. They're like, "All right, Big Bear, time to admit you're full of shit," because China just went to the moon and they saw that robots, unmanned. So no other nation. And when people are like, "Oh, why wouldn't Russia try and disprove us?" They did, and they. So in 1968, we had technology to go to the moon, and we were open about all of it. We put it on the TV. You can check it all out at NASA, right? Just like they told Steph Curry, like, come down, we'll show you all of the technology. So no spy from Russia went to like NASA's technology and saw that trash can that they claim went to the moon. And they wanted to go to the moon to see if we really went. They never did. Neither did China. No one has ever been to the moon since 1973. And people are so hypnotized, man. Like, a lot of people bailed on me because of this opinion, but I won't fucking hesitate. In fact, I know I'm over a target. So if Russia or China landed on the moon with human beings, not robots, human beings, and they walked around and they picked up the shit and they looked at the rover and stuff, I would question my opinion. I still would think it was possible that NASA covered their tracks and sent the shit up or whatever. But that would be, if a human being from another country goes to the moon and documents it, I will have doubt of my own opinion. The fact, not that much though, because in 50 years, no one's went. That's not how countries act. That's not how corporations act. That's not how human individuals act. I mean, guys, we have flags planted all over Greenland. The moon? You don't think that's every fucking kid's dream, every leader's dream, every military officer's dream? Obama said he was going to go to the moon. And just like Michelle Obama's anti-obesity campaign before she met with the Bohemian Grove Cowboys, she just bailed. She was like, no more. When they first came in office, Michelle Obama with her big swinging cock was like, I will stop childhood obesity. And then within a year, never talked about it again. It's the same with the moon. Obama was like, I will go on the moon and do a moonwalk. I'll walk around, high five some people. I'm going to be on the moon. Just like me. It's half black, half white. Got dark side of the moon. I got dark side of my past. Half white, half black. I'll go to the moon. Never went. Went into obscurity, started focusing on Stormy Daniels. No one has ever went to the moon. So right now, you think the world really thinks that America is the only people that ever went to the moon with mysterious technology that only existed in 1968 to 1973? And no one else ever wanted to do that because countries are not competitive at all. That's nuts. It's so obvious that this is bullshit that it's not even like a conspiracy hoax theory. To me, it's mind-blowing that people think that in 1974, in the Cold War, bear in mind, Russia was beating us, and people say, well, it would have been cheaper just to fake it. That's not how it worked. We thought we could go. We kept trying. We couldn't. We faked it. It wasn't a plan from the beginning. Everyone wasn't in on it. But think about it. Russia was beating us in the space race. And this is the reason people hate me for this opinion, because it's not a conspiracy that takes away any stress. It just takes away pride. It takes away retarded imagination like Santa Claus. Like if I did a conspiracy theory that like the left is the reason, your kid's fat. Everyone's like, oh, dude, you speak the truth. Even if I have like no proof. Because you can blame your problems on someone else. When I say we didn't go to the moon, I just took something from you and you got nothing from it. And that's why you're so mad. Where it's like, oh, but all my dreams, but America, but the dreams, but the flag, but the space. I'm not in the business to make you happy. I'm saying what I see. There's no chance that the way we were shown. Now, did we go to the moon? Has everyone been to the moon and no one talks about it because there's aliens on the dark side? I can't say that isn't true because there's no way I can possibly know that. But the evidence is very, very clear that the way they showed it to us was all a lie. Unless you think that in the dead winter of the Cold War, 1968, they're beating us in the Cold War, right? They're advancing very fast because in Operation Paperclip, Russia also got some of these Nazi hotshot rocket scientists, right? So we go there, and then we go back 5 more times, and they just bail. They're like, we're you guys got it, man. You know what? Good fight. Good job. Were they like that with the bomb, the atomic bomb? Were they like that with anything else? Were they like that with Berlin? That's insane. And I'm so right that some people probably will be like, you can't even admit it after a while because it's so insane that you would even think that. That Russia was like, we're just going to continue to develop the internet and, these smart cars and flat screen TVs and satellites and just all the shit of the modern world. Nuclear fission, possibly nuclear fusion. We're going to and no one could do that simple feat that was. And people think that Russia didn't call us out, like that we were lying. Of course they did. Does no one else have Russian friends? I used to live with a girl that grew up in Siberia. She was a Siberian Jew. It was my longest relationship in LA except for Amy. No one there was taught that we went to the moon. Do you think that Russia was like, America went to the moon? Good job, America. No. They just don't report it in our newspapers. How does anyone believe this shit? It's just, it doesn't make any... And the thing that drove me a little wacky about this whole thing is my most logical, salt of the earth, stand their ground, good dudes that, perceive what's in front of them, logical, God-fearing, Americans went the most crazy about this. There's no victims. I'm not talking about, who really killed your mom. It's about the moon landing, right? So even if I was wrong, which I'm not, it's not a big deal. It's literally not a big deal. But they fucking lost their minds. And not only am I not wrong, it's so obvious that it was faked that I can't believe that people are that susceptible to lies. Yeah, Russia never tried calling us out. How do people think that? Yeah, so just, and then they're like, oh, China went. No, they didn't. It was a robot. And there's no people. Why would no tin pot dictator in some country not want to go to the moon? Why would they watch all those astronauts, 24 astronauts, all from America? And even when you Google, has China been to the moon, right? Google that. It's so vague. They're like, well, a Chinese person has been to the moon. Yeah, in one of the Apollo missions. China's never went to the moon. Russia's never went to the moon. Israel's never went to the moon. Iran's never been to the moon. England's never been to the moon. Sri Lanka's never been to the moon. India's never been to the moon. Brazil's never went to the moon. How is the moon supposed to get AIDS if Brazil doesn't go to the moon? And I can't believe that people don't understand that, and then, Bill Whittle will do wizardry and try to appeal to his aging audience about, the pride of the baby boomers. He's like, nowadays, people don't have the will. They don't have the hard work. They don't have the gumption to get to the moon. Our people, we put in a hard day's work. It's like, fuck you, wizard. You don't think that people alive now can work hard? Are you out of your fucking mind? No man's been to the moon. Listen, maybe this is a possibility. I'm open to this. Ready? They went to the moon. They found aliens in the dark side of the moon or something. It's hollow. It's a bell. It's made by Nazis. I don't fucking care. I don't think this is true, but listen, I can't disprove what I'm about to say. All the nations in the world get together and they say, we can't reveal this to the people. We got to stick with this lie. And everyone's like, you guys in? It's like, yeah, we'll play our parts. We'll go up there secretly once every 6 months. Yeah, I can't disprove that. What I can disprove is the story they told us is all a lie. All of it. And I'm not even saying that no human's ever been to the moon. It appears that way. It appears strongly that no human's ever been to the moon. But are they covering something and they have like an international ability of all keeping a secret at Bohemian Grove or some shit? Maybe. But no one went to the fucking moon. All right, I'll do 3 hours. So I'm at 2:47. I'll do 13 minutes. He's trying to prove a negative. No, it's really easy. If someone says, I have a girlfriend in Canada, I go see her once a week. You can prove that isn't true. You can't prove that he's never had a girlfriend. But like, if someone makes a statement, it's not that hard to disprove it. You know, that's how you disprove fraud. It's incredibly easy. It's just, it appears that there are way more to this, Owen. 6 of the 7 members of the Challenger are alive today. See, that stuff, I have no idea. I find some of that stuff, although you may be right, I appreciate the feedback, all that stuff. I find it all very confusing. I focus on one thing, I latch on it, and I grind and grind and grind until I fully understand it. And if people are like, yeah, I mean, the moon's a bell, it's like, that's interesting, but that does not help. That doesn't help me because then I'm always just shooting different directions. I'm a word engineer. I'm a narrative engineer. I'm a wizard engineer. Like, I can figure out the pieces of a puzzle. And if people just keep being like, Michael Jackson's dick was made out of rhinoceros horns, you know, like, I'm like, that very well might be true, but like, I can't right now. I saw a living Christmas tree. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I don't need to focus on this. It's like, I'm starting to get like annoyed by the pushback of it, actually. America said, if you tell anyone, we will not give you any more money. Maybe that's why we're doing the whole thing. Your sense of courageous defense of truth is a defense of all beings and being. Thank you, Big Bear. Well, it's the only way I know. It's how I was raised by my mom. That's why I appreciate stay-at-home moms. NASA is all wizardry. It's the ultimate wizardry. By the way, I'm glad I didn't ban you, Chris Wilde, because I now see that you were talking about NASA. I'm glad I was patient. I'll just read a couple more of these. Show us your big pee-pee. No, Wade, and now you're banned. Do I ban Wade for just being a dirty gay guy? What do you guys think? Is Wade allowed to stay? Show us your big pee-pee. Is that bannable? I don't like it at all. I think it's fucking weird. But, like, it's not like he's trying to get me to kill myself. What do you think? Is Wade out? Gross, just scold him. I don't know. I kind of don't. That was funny. All right, cool. I'll let him stay. If you guys thought it was funny, but I don't want to be harassed by gays. One more and you're out, Wayne. One more, Wade. You even mentioned my dick one more time, Wade. You're out permanently. But I don't want to commit a cyber hate crime because your people are protected. So being wrong at asshole can still be truthful. I don't know what that means, InfoWars Bear. Welfare state stole all our society's money for future stuff. I know. It's a giant credit card. That's why it's going to run out, and that's why you need to have skills and seeds and water and shit. I might still ban Wade. It's kind of fucking pissing me off. That's all right. No, I don't want to be a dick. No pun intended. Socialism works if you are historically retarded or just a full-blown wizard narcissist. Daniel, you make a good point. Why have we never went back, especially now with all this modern technology? Because we never went. And people that say like there was no desire, there's no money, that's insane. NASA has a bigger budget right now, even adjusting for inflation, than it did in 1968. And everyone wants to go to the moon. And Clinton and Bush and Obama, they all had plans to go to the moon. They had these big rallies. We're going back to the moon. And they all cancel. But it's like wizardry is so powerful that people don't question it. They're like, no one wants to go to the moon. Why would anyone want to go to the moon? Now we're going to Mars with more invisible nonsense. It's some powerful ass wizardry, man. And it's like, you can believe we went to the moon and I will still be your friend. I'll still respect your intellect. I'll respect you as a man. I've kind of chilled out a little bit about calling everyone who thinks we went a retard because, like, I'm sure there's shit that I believe right now that is absolutely false, and it's because I'm hypnotized. So I'm not going to be as disrespectful as I was in the beginning. In my defense, I thought it was hilarious calling everyone who thought we went to the moon a retard because it is the mass consensus. So, like, I'm literally claiming everyone's a retard. But, like, we didn't go. And please don't be disrespectful to me, because then I will attack you. You can think what you want. I'm not going to disrespect whatever the fuck your worldview is, because I don't think it's inherently evil that you think we went to the moon, or you're even a weak man. But, like, it's so ridiculous that people think that in the Cold War, Russia was like, they won. Fuck it, man. We're done. And no one went back, and we never went back, and China never went in it. And then when you think that NASA themselves said they destroyed the technology and it's too painful to rebuild it. Bear in mind, this is before they had adequate calculators. They were doing long math on paper. Let that sink in. And then all the telemetry data, 100,000 tapes. And they did not reveal this until they were caught in the early 2000s. They said they taped over the tapes because of budgetary problems in the 70s, and they're really sorry. Okay? If you believe all that, listen, the Van Allen belt, all that stuff, I don't need to touch on any of it. You're right, I'm not an expert in solar wind. Fine. No one needs to even address the fact NASA says that the Van Allen belt is an issue when it comes to Curiosity rover or whatever shit they're doing. They need all this lead. Because they forget their own lies. That's the problem with wizards. You can see it with Jordan Peterson all the time. He contradicts himself constantly. Guys, I was raised by a wizard. Like, my dad is, like, way better at wizardry than Jordan Peterson. He makes Jordan Peterson look like another lobster sodomite. Just a textbook, bib-wearing, just cock monster. I can spot it so good, man. What about the government's underground bases? I have no idea. See, that's some of that shit is like, I get moon landing is totally faked 100%. You also can't live broadcast from the lunar surface in 1968. Guys, I was raised by a wizard. That's hilarious that you pointed that out, Nicholas. Come on, I was raised by a wizard. That's hilarious. Tesla could have figured it out. Oh, look at the wizards at CERN. I almost went there. Like, one of my close friends, a nuclear physicist, and he invited me to JPL and all that shit. I think it's all real weird now, though. And I used to think he was right about everything, and all his predictions were wrong. He's still my boy. He's a really funny guy. I used to have him open for me. Like, he's one of those guys, IQ probably 180. And he's been wrong about everything he's predicted. So it's not really the blessing that people think it is. Yeah. All right. NASA flight path and Bermuda Triangle connection. See, I don't know what any of that means. The super collider is absolutely creepy. They record over the tapes with episodes of Who's the Boss. It's hilarious. Okay, so you made your point. Is it Jew and Armenian fighting? That's hysterical. JBP took a 21-day nap on the moon, right? Because he had a little bit of vinegar. Just don't tolerate liars. It's like, it's not fun anymore. It's like they're taking away the gender of our fucking children. This isn't fun. That's like when I've called out like Jewish bullshit owners of like some of the lobbyists and some of the media places. You think that this is fun for me? Where people are like, what's up with Big Bear and his anti-Semitism? It's like, it's getting to a critical point where you got to call out everything you see or else you kind of deserve what's coming, you know? And I'm not encouraging violence or any of that shit. That's insane. But you just got to put it to words. The stream is fun. Thank you, Static Void. Over 3,000 people. For Kubrick, working was, yes, thank you, Owen. Oh, anytime. I found so much joy in speaking truth. It's painful, but it's freeing. Yeah, once you get used to it, it's awesome. Because you get all your instincts. Your instincts, like, come in so strong. And then you see it in other people where they're so weak because they can't trust their inner thoughts. Because they've lied to themselves too much. Please read Dave McGowan, rest in peace, Wagging the Moon Doggy. Factual and funny like you, he was Saw the Earth genius. Yeah, I got into his work on Laurel Canyon. It's definitely freaked me out a little bit because I get it. But I think it's all good. I think they just try and kill your name now. Day cycle, night cycle, water cycle, air cycle. Why no oil cycle? All must know oil 70 now pumping water down well makes more oil bullshit. there's a natural cycle for oil. That's above my pay grade. All right. I'm just going to finish these off. NASA ruined the lives of 3 brave, proud astronauts by forcing them to lie for their entire lives. Plus, everyone knows the moon has AIDS. Dude, Buzz, those guys all became like crazy drunks, got divorced, and Neil Armstrong never spoke in public except one time. Like, they were broken. It was so hard on them. That's the thing, is I don't want to sound like I'm being a dick, like I don't respect astronauts and the Air Force and brave patriots and shit. It's like, they all got divorced and became drunks and got real kind of weird and secluded. And like in that first interview when they got back, they said they couldn't see the stars. And you can see Neil Armstrong like elbow one of his buddies. I can't remember if it was Buzz or Collins. But he's like, of course you can see the stars up there. Well, you can't see them through the atmosphere? He's like, I don't recall seeing any stars. And Neil was like, dude, shut the fuck up. It's all right on camera. He said you couldn't see any stars. Guys, that's the problem with lying, right? You don't lie because you don't know enough to lie. You can't do reality and non-reality. He said he couldn't see any stars, guys, in space. I'll play for you. I'm already content issues detected. They already won't let me. They won't recommend this video already. So fuck it. YouTube. I'll show it to you right now. And if you think that it's valid that astronauts don't see stars in space, Neil Armstrong, Buzz, what was that called? Press conference. No stars. I should probably spark up the algorithm. There we go. Listen, I'll show it to you right now.
How do you propose to restore some normal?
There we go. There we go. And then we'll call it a night. Thanks for everybody. PayPal.me/feedthebear if you want to throw me a tip. Any of the super chats, hugepianist.com for specials. But most importantly, hit like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the alert button. That shit. You want to talk about currency? Now that I can pay my bills, that's important that we spread this shit. Because the acceptance of lies. And listen, you can believe the moon didn't happen and be a good guy. But let's just watch this. And let me know if you think that there's no stars in space. And then, do you understand how many people have called me like an embarrassment and a retard and I should kill myself and my wife will leave me and all this shit? It's like, when people are like, why are you fired up? That's why sometimes I call you guys, or people that disagree with me, like real intense names and shit. You got to understand, I'm fresh off someone telling me I should kill myself half my fucking day. Let's just watch the whole thing. It's only a minute and a half.
How do you propose to restore some normalcy to your private lives in the years ahead?
I'll read some PayPal. Sorry about that.
I wish I knew the answer to the latter part of your question.
Kind of depends on you. When you looked up at the sky, could you actually see the stars and the solar corona in spite of the glare?
We were never able to see stars from the lunar surface or on the daylight side of the moon by eye without looking through the optics. I don't recall.
Here's the thing. I'm not going to say Neil's lying right there because I don't know what the solar glare or like what he's even talking about. And I don't have that kind of hubris. But one thing you got to remember, when someone says, I don't recall, be very wary. But watch what Buzz says right here.
Period of time that we were photographing the solar corona, what stars we could see.
I don't remember seeing any.
Neil, you were a little bit concerned, you said, about stubbing your toe at the point of landing because the surface was obscured by dust. Do you see any way around that kind of problem for future landings on the moon?
I think the simulations that we have at the present time to enable a pilot to understanding the problems of a lunar landing, that is the simulator and the various lunar landing training facilities and trainers that we have, will do that job sufficiently well.
Well, just watch Buzz again and watch Neil elbow him. Watch this.
The moon
Or Collins,
by
yeah.
eye without looking through the optics. I don't recall during the period of time that we were photographing the solar corona what stars we could see.
I don't remember seeing any. Neil, you were.
I don't remember seeing any. Do you understand the stars you would see in space? It would be spectacular. Like, you would be able to see, like, think of the stars you can see in Wyoming, and that's with an ozone layer, an atmosphere, all that stuff.
Oh, fuck. Are you kidding me?